Marketing teams face a persistent challenge. How do you know if your messaging resonates with what your audience actually cares about? Most companies rely on expensive market research, manual competitor analysis, or instance. These approaches are slow, costly, and often outdated by the time insight reach decision makers. I wanted to test whether automation could solve this problem. Hello, my name is Kailenis Leslie, and I want to show you how I built a workflow that answers three specific questions. What are competitors advertising? What are audiences actually discussing? And where's the gap? I designed this NAN workflow and built it using one unified API called Scrape Creators. Why this API? Instead of setting up 5 different API integrations, Scrape Creators consolidates everything under one API key. I authenticate once, and that single credential gives me access to all the platforms I need. So I chose Scrape Creators especially because it offers 100 free credits to start, perfectly for testing and experimentation. It's, it's already integrated as a community node in NAN, so installation is simple. One API replaces what you will normally require 5 separated authentications. For this demonstration, I picked Bloomberg as my test case. Bloomberg is a major media company that covers both finance and technology, which makes it ideal for analyzing the gap between content strategy and advertising strategy. The entire workflow could run unattended, cost me nothing to test, and I can be replicated for any company. But how it works? The workflow uses one script creators node with 5 different operations. Each branch targets a different platform. As you can see, I have here Google Ads, which pulls active ads creative, headlines, run dates, and geographic targeting. This shows what competitors are actively spending money to promote. On the second one, we have Facebook or Meta, which captures social media advertising from verified business pages. On the third branch, we have LinkedIn ads by keywords. Instead of searching by company, this searches by topic. You see everyone advertising in your competitive space, revealing messaging patterns across the market. On the other side, we have 2 branches that collect audience discussion data. Branch number 4 scrapes posts from target subreddits relevant to your market. This shows what topics are being raised organically. Branch number 5 is the Reddit comments analysis. It pulls comments threads from high engagement posts. This reveals what generates actual discussion versus superficial reactions. All 5 data streams consolidate into a single datasheet, creating a unified dataset for analysis. Let's take a closer look into the workflow. Each branch uses the same script creators node but configured with different operations. Think of it like using an all-in-one tool. One API key unlocks access to Google Ads, Meta Ads, LinkedIn Ads, and Reddit data. In NAN, I simply selected which platform operation I want, and the node adapts accordingly. I will show you here where you can find it. So you can write scrape creators, and then you will find the nodes that you need by platform or social media. Let's take a look at our first node, the manual input. This is where the workflow starts. I manually input the search parameters I want to investigate. Rather than hard-coding search terms into each branch, this centralized input node lets me change targets quickly. Do you want to analyze a different company? Just update this node instead of editing 5 separate branches. So this will be the input of our workflow with company name, keywords, and subreddit targets that feed into downstream branches. Now let's review the ads section. This section captures what companies are paying to promote. Each branch uses the same script creators node, but with different operations selected. What it does, this is the script creator node configured to use the get a company's ads operation for Google's platform. It connects to Google's Ad Transparency Center's API through script creators and searches for all active ads from Bloomberg in this case. Another thing that you set here is the limit. So because I was just taking a sample and I wanted a small portion of the ads out there, so I selected 5 and pulled from Google Ads library. Most people don't know this, but Google launched the Ad Transparency Center in 2023 to increase advertising transparency, obviously. Any verified advertisers running ads on Google platforms, search, display, or YouTube, their ads show up here publicly. Here's where you can find it. In this case, I search Bloomberg, but you just type the company that you want to research in here. They won't share impressions count, click throughout rates, or spend amount publicly. So that is why we are not able to see the data. The split node converts the JSON array response from the API into individual table rows. The API returns all ads as one nested object, as you can see on the right side on the output. This node flattens so each ad becomes its own row in the final spreadsheet, like so. So each ad, it becomes their own row. So this is important because it will allow us to have the data in a readable way. Now let's take a look into the node Save to Google Sheets. This node takes the structured ad data and append it to a design tab in my new Google Sheet. So what does matter? Well, having all the data in one central location means I can analyze it without switching between platform or manually copying the data. So this is basically what it's doing, saving the data in one place. Now let's look into branch number 2, Meta Ads Intelligence. Uses the Scrapes Creators node with the Meta Search for Companies operation to search Meta's database for businesses pages matching Bloomberg in my case. Why these steps exist? Meta's ads library work different from from Google's. You can't just search by company name and get ads directly. You need to identify the specific Facebook or ad page ID, and then query ads from that pages. So that is what we are doing here. We are collecting the Facebook ads library, search by company, and then your company here. The challenge I encounter when I search Bloomberg or Bloomberg Tech or Bloomberg businesses or other keywords, well, I had to verify which page was running the ads I wanted to analyze. Let me show you what I mean. If you go to ad library, you can see if I type Bloomberg technology, nothing shows up. So if you go and type on Bloomberg, you will see that they have different pages. And this is the one, Bloomberg Business is the one that actually carries their ads. So that is why I have here Bloomberg. As a result, I got different types of ads. So it's a mix in between all the ones that they have in here. Here you will see the library ID, the date. Let me show you the data actually. So this is all what you will get in this node. The archive ID is a unique ID for this ad and Meta's archive. The page ID is the Bloomberg Business ID. The name page is the human readable name for Bloomberg. The start date and end date is where the ad when it started and when it ended, and so on. The one that stood for me the most was the snapshot. This one in column E, it contains, maybe I should just show you here. It contains a lot of information. It contains the actual ad creative, everything that you see when you scroll past the ad, images, videos, headline, body text, etc. So this is very good information. The active is active here. It tells you what's running now. So you can see all these ads are active. The collection count reveals testing strategies just at the end. It's Bloomberg ran a 12 variation of one campaign. They are optimizing aggressively, like this one. What you don't get, well, the reach estimate, you see that is empty, and the total active time, don't see it here either. The total active, I think it's just because it's in between this one. This one, the active time actually is empty. These are the values that you will see here null. Meta protects competitive intelligence on ad performance, so you won't see that information. So these ones aren't exactly the same. So by now you know this will collect the ads, this will format it, and this will save the information in just one space. LinkedIn is a little different. Use the script creator node with LinkedIn search for ads operation with searches by keyword rather than company's name. So why is this different? Well, let me show you. LinkedIn ads library searches by topic, keywords, not by company names. When I search these are artificial intelligence, data analysis, machine learning, it runs ads from all companies targeting that term, not just Bloomberg. So what it captures are 21 data fields. The ID is the unique LinkedIn identifier. If we go here, this is what we get, ID. The description is the main body text of the ad. The headline is the ad title, and you will get a lot more, including the URL for that ad, which is very, very interesting because you can see what they use, the keywords that they use, the images that they use, and that give you a lot of insight as well. Now let's talk about our second section or category, which is the audience intelligence. This section captures what people are organically discussing. The node number 1 uses the script creators node with ready get subreddit post operation to pull the most recent high engagement posts from targeted subreddits. Let's see what we have in here. So I targeted artificial because I wanted to just match with what I was looking for, but I learned that you need to find the right subreddit. There is no a subreddit called artificial intelligence. There is one artificial. There is one for technology. So you will need to target the right subreddit, and then you will set your limit. In my case, again, I set a very small amount of data because my limitations with credits. And then I selected get subreddit post. So this is what we have as an output. In here, if we go to my spreadsheet, so you will see unique Reddit post ID, the author username who posted, the author full name, the title, that is the post heading, the name, URL, and so on. A ratio above 0.9, that is 90%, mean a strong positive reception. Below 70% means the post is controversial. Lots of people dislike it. The formula for quality content so would be a high upvote ratio, so more than 90%. So why this matter? This shows what topics generate organic interest. No paid promotion, no algorithm manipulation. Just what real people choose to discuss. Now we'll take a look at our final node, that is the Reddit comments analysis. This branch uses the script creators node with Reddit get post comments operation. It takes the higher engagement post from branch 4 and pull all comments from those threads. So you will see here I have a link. Well, if we go back to our subreddits and we see, I selected this one because it had the higher score. So I copied the link that I got in here and I pasted in here. And this pull all the comments related to that specific post. So you will see here that you will get ID, author, the author full name, body, name, parent ID, and so on. But what you need to really pay attention, or what is important here, is understanding the body, what that will be the field that contains the actual discussion. This is where you find what people think about topics, not just what they are talking about. The score field shows which comments resonate most. High scoring comments reveal the perspective that the community agrees with. The parent's ID is crucial for understanding conversation flow. It tells you whether this comment replies directly to the post or is part of nested discussion thread. This helps you reconstruct how debates evolved. So, but why go this deep? Post titles tells you what topics are popular. Comments tells you what people actually think about those topics. This is qualitative data at scale. You can see which perspective resonates most with the community. What the data revealed. Bloomberg's 20 Facebook ads advertised exclusively financial products. Bloomberg Terminal, data subscription, and business intelligence tools. Zero ads promoted their technology content, despite extensive coverage of AI, semiconductors, and tech news. Why does this make sense? Well, Bloomberg used tech content to drive traffic and build an audience, but monetizes through financial product advertising. What is the decision-making value? Well, understanding the separation helps teams allocate resources properly. Content builds audience, and advertising drives revenue conversions. As an actionable insight for strategic decisions, well, first is identify oversaturated language before launching campaign. Test content ideas against actual audience engagement before investing resources, and see what competitors emphasize versus what audience discuss. Marketing team needs to understand whether their messaging aligns with audience interest. This workflow makes the analysis faster, cheaper, repeatable, scalable. It's not perfect, no automation is, but it's functional, scalable, and delivers strategic value. And that is exactly the kind of practical solution that helps businesses make better decisions with better data. Thank you very much.